Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator exclusively on DRF Bets. Dan Illman, Mike Beer kicking off a 50-cent pick four at Keeneland on Bluegrass Saturday with a very good turf sprinter headlining the Grade 2 Shakertown. We're going 5.5 furlongs on the lawn. $350,000 is the purse. We're going to take a look at this field, and Golden Pal is odds on the morning line, and the number 10 Golden Pal, Mike, deserves to be odds on the morning line. Dominant winner of the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint to close out his 3-year-old campaign.
Yeah, definitely. Boy, listen, you love to see the good horses run, Dan. That's one of the great things about Keeneland, that you get to see horses like this. I'm almost a little disappointed that he's in here, though, because it kind of feels like a much more interesting race without Golden Pal.
The way Golden Pal broke in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, if he breaks like that, no one's making the lead on him. Timeform US believes that the 11 Just Might, taking a look at the pace projector, has the speed to run with Golden Pal. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I'm not so sure either. I mean, Just Might is a pretty fast horse. So we'll see how his connections decide to play it here, Dan, because he certainly does feel like he wants to be on the lead. I don't know. That might not be the best idea in the world, though, to go after Golden Pal early.
The one Chessmaster, he's got a little bit of early speed as well. He's got the inside post. He's won 11 times in his career, went gate to wire in the Turf Dash 2 starts back. And the Silks run last time out, though, turned him back to 5 furlongs. It was a very hot pace. I wonder if he was kind of exposed at the class level in that race.
Yeah, sort of felt that might be the case, Dan. That triple-digit buy or 2 back at Tampa is pretty hard to get behind when you start taking this horse's races apart. And obviously, he can't make the lead in here.
Natural Power returned off a layoff and has just been seeing dead red sprinting on turf at Gulfstream. And you rarely see turf sprints being won in this manner. Last to first. Let's watch his last race on March the 2nd, his second consecutive victory against optional claiming competition. He's turning into the stretch. And yes, they're going fast, but he's got a lot of work to do. And somehow, some way, he does it.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that he got it done here. Obviously not quite as surprised as we were 2 starts back when he scored at a huge price, Dan, but he came right back and just did the same thing last time, sat last and rallied down the outside.
Baratza is the number 3, and this horse is one of the better turf sprinters in Southern California. Now, keep in mind, many of those races are run at 6 or 6.5 furlongs. Big difference running 5.5 at Keeneland. That being said, Baratza's in sharp form. He's won 4 in a row, including this race, the Grade 3 San Simeon. He is wider than wide, turning into the stretch. And although our friends at Timeform US have color-coded this pace blue bar, it's worth noting the pace kind of fell apart late. Baratza wins despite failing to change leads.
Yeah. This is a really, really good performance. You saw how wide he was there, Dan, coming from way out of it. He just wins for absolute fun in here. That's 4 in a row now since they cut this horse back. You've already mentioned, I guess, the big question with this horse. It's, he's only cutting back a furlong here from 6.5 to 5.5, but it's a really big difference. I love everything about this horse, though. His last 4 races are all really, really good. I think he's a very dangerous horse in here.
The favorite stubs his toe. You must consider the 3 Baratza, considering his stretch kick. The 4 is Diamond Oops. Diamond Oops is a old war horse. He's good on dirt. He's good on turf. He's banked over $1 million. Maybe you could make the argument he hasn't come back as good in his 2 starts as a 7-year-old, but his race in the Gulfstream Park Sprint, listen, he came from way out of it in a short field. I'm willing to forgive that. He didn't do much in the Gulfstream Mile. The one true turf sprint that I see recently for him, he ran the Keeneland Turf Mile. That's a mile. He ran a Kentucky Downs. I don't consider even that a turf sprint. The race at Churchill Downs in the turf sprint in 2021, he ran well. On the race before that, he won it. I think you give him pace, he's going to run better.
Yeah, that's certainly possible, Dan. We've talked about this horse a lot throughout his career. I've been a big fan of his for a really long time. I do kind of feel like he might have lost a step in his most recent races. He just really hasn't been as good as he was previously. If he can somehow find a way to show up with one of his good races here, he can win.
5.5 might be sharp for Baratza. It's just right, I think, for the 5-gear jockey, who might have found 5 a bit too sharp in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint and in his seasonal debut at Gulfstream Park when he was beaten by a hot horse, Yes I Am Free, who came back to win with a 95 Beyer speed figure. Here's my problem. Gear jockey's 2 signature wins last year, that optional claiming race at Saratoga, the Turf Sprint at Kentucky Downs, boy, he got great trips both times.
He did, and he's going to need a great trip to rebound here. He was bad last time. I hear what you're saying about the 2 5-furlong races, and maybe that is a valid excuse. He was pretty bad last time. He didn't really show up, so maybe he just needed that race off the layoff. You're right that he got great trips in the 2 big races, but I'll tell you what, Dan, he didn't get a great trip in the Troy at Saratoga going this distance, and I thought he ran pretty well that day.
He did run very well in the Troy. He can do it on his best day, just needs a lot of things to go his way. Good price on the morning line. The Learjet is a good price as well, 12-1 on the line. He returned from overseas, first time for Brendan Walsh. He got it done in a graded stakes race at Kentucky Downs. Now, maybe his experience in European racing played well at Kentucky Downs. Let's watch the Learjet win the Franklin Simpson. It was his first race as a gelding, and the trip worked out.
Yeah, this is a perfect closer's trip down along the inside. It's just going to open up for him, Dan. He's going to take advantage a little bit here to prevail. A good performance. These races are, a lot different than the 5.5 turf sprints at Keeneland, obviously. So we'll see if he's going to be able to cope with this little bit shorter distance. His overall form's fine, but I didn't like him that much in this race.
Cowan is the number 7 as we see the Learjet finish off the Franklin Simpson. Cowan's 20-1 on the morning line for Steve Asmussen. And this was early in his career, did some really good work on turf, especially at Keeneland, did some good work on dirt. I wonder if maybe he had already reached his peak. He was placed first via disqualification in the Duncan F. Kennerless, and he was impeded at the start. Just Might was much the best in that race. And in the Colonel Power last time out, maybe he just didn't get enough pace to run at.
Yeah, and it feels like he probably will get enough pace to run out here. And I think that gives him a real chance to take a step forward in this race. And I like him as a closing sprinter on the grass. They haven't given him that many opportunities on this surface, but I think this is what he wants to do. I'm going to use this horse underneath at a big price.
Johnny Unleashed often outruns his odds. He was 4th in the Shakertown in 2021 at 92-1. He was 4th in the Woodford at 34-1. Now, he's been beaten by several of these horses, but he's a horse that's going to be 1,000,000-1 once again, and maybe he can outrun his price and make your supers. You got to race with a big favorite.
That's a fair way to look at him, Dan. I mean, he's hard to take on top in this race, but listen, you're looking for horses to fill in underneath with some of the more logical contenders in here. You could use this horse.
One of the more fascinating horses in the race, trained by Mark Cassie, is the 9 Filo di Ariana, 6 years old, has only run 4 times in his career. Won his first 3 starts in his native Brazil as easy as he wanted. Came back off almost over a 2-year layoff at Woodbine. Let's watch his race. He got a very nice trip in this allowance. He tracked just off the leaders. He still has work to do at the 3/16 pole, but he asserts himself late. Cassie had him ready to go. The problem is that race was in June. Where has he been?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this horse has issues. He can run when he shows up and he's feeling good. So maybe he'll show up feeling good on Saturday then, and you might want to take a shot with him. He obviously has talent. There's just so much working against him in this race that I found him hard to take. I'll be very interested to see how he runs.
Especially at the shorter distance, because he's been doing his damage 6.5 to 7.5 in his career thus far. Golden Palace Way, the horse to beat. He's the most likely winner on paper. You don't need us to tell you that. Just watch his Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. He beat the gate. He made the lead. He made it easily. He didn't have to. He relaxed beautifully when he made the lead. And there's just nobody coming to get him. And he beat 3 next out winners. He's probably the best turf sprinter in the country. He's probably one of the better sprinters, regardless of surface, in the country.
Yeah, that's probably true. He's very fast. He's very good on his best day. The Breeders' Cup was one of his really good days after he broke running and got to the lead. I really didn't like his Woodford all that much the last time he ran at Keeneland, Dan. And to me, I thought that made him really vulnerable at the Breeders' Cup. I mean, how wrong could you be? He won that race very easily. I don't know. He's way the horse to beat in here. Again, I kind of wish he wasn't in here because I thought it was a much more interesting race without him.
Just Mike completes the field. This is a 10-time winner. He has run some very fast races on dirt, some very fast races on turf. He was in exceptional form early in the Fairgrounds meeting. He won the Scherer 3 starts back, no problem. The Kenner, he was disqualified. He was much the best in that race. Let's talk about the Colonel Power, because that's the elephant in the room. He's odds on. He makes the lead. He has the lead at the 8th pole. Can't lose that race, can he?
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know how he didn't hold on there. That was a disappointing run from this horse. I don't know. He's obviously really good. Having to deal with Golden Pale right to his inside, and then coming off of that Colonel Power last time where it seemed like he coughed it up without excuse. I couldn't take him at the morning line price, Dan. I want other horses in here.
Add in the fact that he has never done his best running at Keeneland, and you might have a horse to play against, because I have rocks in my head. We take a look at my top selections for this race, and I'm trying to look at the sunny side of the street and see that Just Might has run some fast races in his career. Maybe he'll drift if people go crazy on Golden Pal, but I have to be honest with you. Playing any kind of multiple race wagers, I have to have 90% of my eggs in Golden Pal's basket, because he's just way the horse to beat.
He is. I have him on top in this race. The other horse for me is the 3 Barazza. We'll see if he can, catch enough pace and handle the 5.5. I want to see what kind of price he is. Then he's 6-1 on the line. I probably wouldn't bet Barazza at that price, but if he drifts a little off that, I'll take a shot with him, maybe as a win bet, and I'll use 310.
He's my 4th pick in the race, and I do expect him to run well. 10-3-5-7 for Mike, 11-10-9-3 for me. But it could be Golden Pal's race to lose in the Shakertown on Bluegrass Saturday. Best of luck.